Ivanka Trump, who served as senior White House advisor during her father Donald Trump's presidency, reportedly testified remotely via video link for around 8 hours on April 5, 2022, to the U.S. House of Representatives Committee investigating the January 6, 2021 siege on the U.S. Capitol. The 41-year-old mom of three's testimony before the bipartisan congressional committee came just 5 days after husband Jared Kushner, who was a fellow former presidential advisor, also answered questions from the committee for over 6 hours, and now we finally have more information about what she said, according to an executive summary report released Monday, December 19, ahead of the panel's final report, which is set to be released sometime this year. Ivanka was not as forthcoming as other witnesses about President Trump's conduct. According to People, the committee believes that she didn't share her full recollection of the events that took place on January 6, including the full account of what happened at a speech her father gave just hours before the Capitol riots. When committee staff asked Ivanka if she had attended the Stop the Steal rally on the morning of the riots in an effort to calm the president, she reportedly said no, adding, "I don't know who said that or where that came from." The committee also revealed that Ivanka acknowledged some of the claims surrounding her final months as a White House advisor, including that she and then Attorney General William Barr both agreed that there was no evidence of significant election fraud. She also reportedly agreed that her father watched the attack on the Capitol on television as it was occurring. Ivanka's former chief of staff spills more details. The committee reportedly deemed that Julie Radford, Ivanka's former chief of staff, had a more specific recollection of Ivanka Trump's actions and statements. Radford reportedly told the committee that Ivanka was concerned about her father's demeanor after she heard him speaking to Vice President Mike Pence, saying, Ivanka shared that he had called the vice president an expletive word. "I think that bothered her." She added, "And I think she could tell based on the conversations and what was going on in the office that he was angry and upset and people were providing misinformation. And she felt like she might be able to help calm the situation down, at least before he went on stage." Last year, Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, 41, told the Jan. 6 committee that he urged the then-president not to take advice from Rudy Giuliani, who was peddling wild election conspiracy theories, as NBC News writes. The panel's interview session with Kushner had many takeaways, and in a brief snippet that aired during the public hearing on June 13, Kushner was asked if he ever shared his beliefs on Giuliani's legal work with the then-president at the time. In the clip, Kushner says, "I guess yes." When asked what he said to Trump, Kushner responded basically, "Not the approach I would take if I was you." As NBC reports, Trump was unmoved. Kushner said Trump then said, "You know, I have confidence in Rudy." The clip was played after top Trump advisors said an apparently inebriated Giuliani had urged Trump to declare victory on election night, which the advisors argued against. Trump took Giuliani's advice and delivered remarks from the White House, saying, "Frankly, we did win this election." The committee also showed a video of Ivanka Trump testifying that she did not believe that her father was in a position to declare victory on Election Day. She stayed at the White House on election night and moved between the residence and a nearby room where some family members were. Asked if she weighed in on the debate on whether her father should assert victory, Ivanka said, "I don't know that I had a firm view as to what he should say in that circumstance. The results were still being counted. It was becoming clear that the race would not be called on election night." In a clip that the panel played at its first hearing on Thursday, the first daughter's opinion was swayed weeks later when then Attorney General William Barr said there was no evidence of any fraud that would have impacted the outcome of the 2020 election. "It affected my perspective. I respect Attorney General Barr, so I accepted what he was saying," Ivanka said. The former president sat down for a discussion with the Washington Post soon after about his daughter's interview with the January 6 committee and dubbed it a shame and harassment. The former first daughter voluntarily testified before the panel, and her father also told the Post that he offered privilege to both his daughter and son-in-law, but neither of them agreed to this. As a former president, Trump learned he cannot offer blanket executive privilege to shield testimony, as Insider writes. Trump also said to the Post that he did not know what his daughter told the members of the committee when testifying, and didn't have knowledge as to what her husband said either. One member of the panel reportedly described Kushner's testimony as valuable, and they managed to get some helpful information out of it, although it is not being released to the public just yet. There were some things revealed, but we'll just share that a little later, Representative Benny Thompson, the panel's Democratic chairman, said about Kushner's testimony. Ivanka was reportedly cooperative throughout the process. The committee reportedly interviewed over 800 witnesses in its attempts to compile the most accurate record of the attack. It's important to note that Ivanka never attempted to invoke her right to remain silent and was reportedly answering questions throughout the testimony. Ivanka was reportedly in the West Wing with her father at the time of the riots and was said to be one of the people who tried to persuade him to call off the rioters. Thompson said of her testimony at the time, "She's answering questions. I mean, not in a broad chatty term, but she's answering questions." Thompson also said that Ivanka was cooperative throughout the process, adding, "She came in on her own. That has obviously significant value. We did not have to subpoena